I'm getting sick of men saying that. I want a woman to be my peace. No, the you don't. You want a woman that won't question you when you bring in chaos in her life.
Most of the time, when you ask a man, what are you looking for in a woman? See, I just feel like 90% of all the men will tell you, I want a woman that will give me peace. I want a woman that will give me peace of mind, that will be very peaceful. Almost all of them will tell you, I want a woman that will give me peace. The thing is, why are they looking for women that will give them peace? Because most of these men, they want a woman to give them peace, but they are not giving peace. They are giving chaos. They are giving trouble. And the kind of peace that they want, they're not giving back to the woman. And the thing is, when I personally feel like when a man says that I want a woman to give me peace, it means that I want a woman that can just shut up and not say anything, no matter the wrong thing I do to her. She's going to stay in the relationship. She's not going to talk or confront me, or whatever I do to her, she collects it like that just because I am the man in the relationship and she must give me that peace of mind. I personally feel like that is what it means to give a man peace. So when a man is telling you, oh, you're my peace, I want a woman to give me peace, you're not giving me enough peace or something, just know that they want you to always not hold them accountable for anything. Don't tell them what they did wrong. Don't get angry when they do anything wrong. Just keep smiling and be saying, yes, yes. Definitely you're going to be his peace. What is your take? And why do you think that men always require peace, but then they give chaos? That's a conversation we are having in today's video. Let's go ahead and watch some videos together. Then we'll come back and talk about it.
I'm getting sick of men saying that. I want a woman to be my peace. No, the you don't. You want a woman that won't question you when you bring in chaos in her life, talking about be my peace. How you want her to be your peace when all you doing is bringing nightmares in her life? And every time she speaks up, you say she's disturbing your peace. Of course she is. Nigga, you cheating. You ain't available. You don't validate her. When you say you want a woman to be your peace, you mean you want a woman that don't speak up for herself, that don't call you out on your motherfucking bullshit. If you not doing bullshit, shit is peaceful. You don't even have to say be my peace when you are bringing peace. What peaceful ass nigga has ever had to say be my peace? The chaotic men, the disrespectful men, cheating men, the men that got fucking problems, the men that want to have their cake and eat it too, those are the men that scream, I want a woman to be my peace.
This is one thing that men do online. We want peace. We want peace. We want peace. Peace is created. It doesn't just happen. So these guys will be coming home late, liking girls' pictures online all day, talking to other people, this, that, and then be like, why aren't you my peace? Look, selection and behavior. They're not your peace because maybe she is somebody you chose badly, or you're indulging in behaviors that aren't conducive to peace. Peace is created. So they come on all these podcasts and like, men just want peace, men just want peace, but I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to go sleep around and I'm going to go to the club every night, but I just want to come home to peace. No, babe, it doesn't work like that. You create peace. Firstly, by your selection process. You don't choose a woman that's chaotic and got too much, chaos going on. You choose someone who also likes peace. But secondly, you also create peace in your home by acting in a way that's kind, considerate, respectful, loyal. Peace is an inevitable outcome.
So I'm just going to give y'all some wisdom. I usually don't give advice to women, but I'm going to give you goddesses some advice tonight. Stop being his peace. Don't be his peace. He needs to create the conditions for peace to thrive. He needs to create the conditions for peace to be had. If he does not create those conditions, don't just give him the peace. You see, because what happens is men take that peace and then they take kindness for weakness, and then they get comfortable and they slack, and then they don't do what they're supposed to do, and then you have to deal with the burden. Don't be his peace. Make him create the conditions for peace to be had. Okay? That's what kings do. Kings create the conditions for their kingdom to thrive. If he cannot do that, he is not a king. And this is how you weed out the weak men. This is how you weed out the men that's going to be no good for you in the long run. Because he needs to create the conditions for that peace to be had. These men today, they don't understand how the divine feminine works. The divine becomes chaotic when the environment is unstable. And once you stabilize that environment, the divine naturally creates harmony out of that. Naturally, peace comes from out of that. Because a woman's natural nature is peaceful when she's steady and stable. If he does not give you that, ladies, do not be his peace. Don't listen to these memes telling you that. This is coming from a man. Don't be his peace. Make him create the conditions for peace to be had. And if he doesn't create those conditions, ain't no peace, ain't no relationship, ain't none of that. Because why? In the end, you need to be comfortable for the harmony to permeate through the family. Ashe.
This is my public service announcement to all women, I am here to tell you that you have been lied to, hoodwinked, you have been bamboozled. You have fell for the okie doke. You have fell for it. This whole ideology of being a man's piece is a precursor. It is the beginning. It is the beginning appetizer to a toxic and demonic relationship that you will regret down the line. Here's why. The very idea that you have to be this man's piece is an indication that there is no order present in his life, that there are things out of place in his life. It means that you have to eventually step into roles and responsibilities that you shouldn't have to if you pursue a relationship or a marriage with him. And so which is going to by default create more stress, drama, and anxiety in your life because you're trying to be something that this man should already have mastered. And when you can't master your mind, you can't create order. When you can't create order, you can't at all create peace. So in order for a man to have peace, he has to dominate his mind. He has to put in order the areas and the affairs of his own life, and that creates peace. You cannot create peace. You can't be peace. You can be a peaceful woman. What you can do is be a peaceful woman to not add to those stresses, but you can't be his peace. You can't be peace for him. He got to be able to dominate and master peace by himself in order to be successful at having relationship with you. It got to be done like that. There is no other way. You can't supplement. You can't come in and create it, because if you try to come in and be anything that he's supposed to do, you by default end up emasculating him. You end up by default emasculating him. You make him soft. A man should be strong enough to dominate his mind. That's the one thing that a man can control. He can control his mind. If he can control his mind, he can control his environment by putting order into the environment, because his mind is under subjection. That's what creates peace for a man, not a woman. Stop being his peace.
Someone said a man without peace will take yours. Let me say this gently and clearly. A man without peace will come and take yours. A man without confidence will feed off yours. And a man without money, he'll spend yours emotionally, spiritually, and literally. So let's get into it. If you're new to my page, I'm Mel, your certified holistic and spiritual coach, helping you to heal from lineage, childhood, and religious trauma. So this isn't about bashing men. I'm a big proponent for men issues. It's about protecting your feminine energy, because if a man doesn't know who he is, he'll attach himself to your identity. If he doesn't feel powerful, he'll resent your glow. And if he hasn't done the healing work, he'll make you his battlefield. And the worst part, he won't always know he's doing this, but you'll feel it in your body, in your energy, in your sleep, in your spirit. And suddenly, you will drain. You are doubting yourself. You're carrying the emotional weight for two people. That's not love. That's imbalance. For instance, I've been there. If you're trying to be his therapist, his project manager, his peace, his mother, his provider, all the while slowly losing yourself until you realize what you thought was compassion was actually you abandoning you. You can't build with someone who only knows how to borrow your bricks. So let me inspire you today. Ask yourself this: do I feel more me or less me around this person? Because real love won't require you to shrink. It won't drain you. It won't guilt you into silence. Otherwise, you've done building people who don't want to build themselves. Peace is a boundary, and you don't owe yours to anyone who won't protect it.
Never trust a man who says he wants you to be his peace. He's probably a serial cheater. He hasn't had peace because he's been lying to and betraying the women that he told he loved. He's left behind a trail of anxiety, depression, and disappointment. He's going to make you feel guilty for holding him accountable. He's going to manipulate you into believing that you have to prove to him that you are peaceful with unrealistic expectations. He pretty much set you up to fail. He's going to make you feel guilty for having emotions. He's going to gaslight you into believing that you have to do everything to maintain his peace. He is emotionally unavailable. You will never be able to satisfy an unsatisfied person. A peaceful man doesn't have to convince someone to be their peace.
I wanted to talk about like the whole notion of being a man's peace. I do believe that you should be a man's peace. I just believe you can't be a man's peace if he doesn't have peace for himself. So with that being said, here's my point. Be vigilant about chaotic men. What I'm referencing is men who present as peaceful, men who present as like calm. On the surface, they appear to be peaceful, but below the surface, they actually operate in chaos. There's so much attached to that. It's going to yield like a negative experience 9 times out of 10. You'll be thinking that you're the one that's supposed to bring that person peace. But if you actually step back and observe inner goings of their life, they don't have peace. They don't have it for themselves. And you definitely can't bring something to the situation that they don't yet already haven't established for themselves. Yes, I know this applies to both men and women. I understand that. However, I spend majority of my content speaking specifically to women and occasionally to men because there are enough services offered to men. Yes, you may not agree. I'm not asking you to. However, I think the layout of society would indicate that this is very male-centered and that women are typically conditioned to always acclimate and adapt and adjust all of their functionings, expectations, desires to the needs of men. We're done with that. So a lot of the reason why my content will specifically be towards women is because we're being delivered. Back to the point. Be vigilant about men that present as peaceful, but in actuality, if you dig below the surface, they're really simply chaotic, a hot mess. If you look at how they manage their life, how they manage their families, if you look at how they manage their emotions, all of it, just chaotic. He can't bring you peace, and he also doesn't have the soil for you to be able to bring him peace. He's going to disrupt that peace because he doesn't have it. You can't have your peace and then he not have peace, and vice versa, because it's going to be disrupted. The frequencies are imbalanced.
When a man says that he want peace, he really means that he want chaos. See, most of these men that say that, they never had peace. They never had none. So they use women. They drain those women and they can sense that have the peace and take it for themselves. You don't allow that to happen. You give peace on your terms. Because really, they need stress. They need pain. And they need chaos. It needs to be a balance. Because when you just give a man just peace, he gets bored and start taking advantage of you. That's what happens every single time. They don't know what they want half the time. There's no need for you to really believe anything a man says. It's their actions. I'm going to always say that. So, you hear a man say that he want peace, it should be a signal in your brain that he never had none. And you give peace on your damn terms. Because they really need chaos.
A lot of men are telling me that all they need is peace in their relationship. And I'm like, what do you think a woman need in a relationship? A woman also needs peace. And so, men, if you want peace in your relationship, your actions needs to be peaceful. If you want peace in your relationship, your words needs to be peaceful. If you want peace in your relationship, your thoughts needs to be peaceful. If you want peace in your relationship, your movement needs to be peaceful. If you want peace in your relationship, your leadership needs to be peaceful. But you can create a cantankerous environment and expect your relationship to be peaceful, because a woman is a multiplier. Whatever you give to the woman is going to multiply it and give back to you. And so, if you are not getting peace in a relationship, the only person you need to look at is you, because you are supposed to be the leader. And as a woman who's a reflector, right, and a multiplier, we are going to give what we receive. All right? Make sure to repost, like, and if you're not following me, go ahead and do so.
What does it mean when a man tells you, I want peace of mind? Ordinarily, you would assume that he meant that he doesn't want fights in the house, he doesn't want arguments, he wants the both of you to be at peace every time, and he wants a lovey-dovey environment. You are so wrong, my sister. When a man tells you, I want peace of mind, it means that he doesn't want to be held accountable for any of his misdoings and misbehaviors. He doesn't want to be questioned where he's going or where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be questioned why he missed 10 of your calls. He doesn't want to be questioned why he's not returning your text messages. He doesn't want to be questioned why he's sleeping late nights. He doesn't want to be questioned why he didn't come home the previous night. That is what it means. That is what that manipulative statements by men mean. So when they tell you they want peace of mind, don't get it confused, girl. He wants a mumu that won't question him too much. And it's manipulative. It is manipulation because he doesn't care what he did to put you in that state of you asking him questions or you being mad or angry at the situation. He doesn't want to be accountable for it. He doesn't want to be questioned. Why? Because he doesn't care about your emotions. He doesn't care about you. So he just wants you to be the yes sir kind of woman. For a naive girl in her early 20s, yes, she will give you that vibe. But for a mature lady in her late 20s to early 30s, she can't just accept that. And that is why men hate women in their 30s, because they know that women in their 30s are not easily manipulated, and they are going to give account of everything they do. Even if they don't give it willingly, the woman will demand for it. That is why they just say, okay, once she's 30, she's out of marriage, she's this, she's that. It's a lie. A mature, high-value woman will always want answers. She will always want to question things, not because she hates you or not because she likes trouble, but because she wants accountability and transparency. She will question you on a lot of things. But you see, the men that are not ready to go for all of that hard work, they just say, I want peace, to cover everything up so that they won't have to be accountable to you on any ground. So ladies out there, watch out for this kind of men. They are manipulative and bad for your mental health. They will manipulate you to think that you are always the problem. You are always an angry bird. No matter what they say or do, you are always angry. And it's a lie. It's because of their actions that you are like that. But they will never take accountability for that. No matter what happens, it's your fault. You are to blame. You are the bad guy. Because why? They lack accountability. Stay away from such men.
For the longest time, I always think that when you're a man's peace, it's a green flag. Like, oh, when a man tell you, oh, you're giving me peace, I have so much peace when I'm with you. Oh, I want you to give me my peace of mind. Oh, I want you to give me peace. For the longest time, I personally feel like it was a green flag or probably it's a good thing, But later on, I tend to see that this thing is actually a very manipulative word. these men use to manipulate women by telling them, I want you to be my peace. So you as a woman, so no matter what it does to you that is hurting you or you're angry about, just because you want to be his peace and he has already told you, I want a woman to give me peace, or you don't give me enough peace, you're going to keep quiet and absorb whatever happens and just, be his peace. And the thing is, most of them don't even actually want that peace. They want chaos. They want problem. Because if you, even though you actually decide that, okay, I'm going to be his peace for a longest time, for a long period of time, and for the duration of the relationship, it's going to get to a stage whereby it's going to get tired and be like, you're just too calm. I want someone to give me trouble. Because we see when these men come online, they talk about, oh, when a woman is just too quiet, she's so peaceful all the time. We want drama. We want someone to put us on our toes. They don't even know what they want. In the minute they are saying they want peace, in the minute they want chaos. So even if you decide and be like, okay, he wants peace, I'm going to give him peace of mind, while I'm going to leave my own peace aside, while I focus on his peace, I'm going to be his peace of mind. At the end of the day, he's still going to get bored with you because you're giving him too much peace. So the thing is, when a man says that they want peace, because I feel like it's all men that like talking about peace, 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 is because they want a woman to shut up why they do annoying things, why they do questionable things. They want to be able to have that freedom, go out and do whatever they want to do, hang out with other women or have female friends or have work wife or something. And they don't want the woman to hold them accountable and be like, oh, where were you last night? Why did you pick my call? Why did you go to a certain place? They don't want that kind of woman to question them. They don't want a woman to tell them that, oh, I checked your phone, or why are you chatting with this person? They don't want that kind. They don't want that kind of woman. That is the peace they want. They want you to keep quiet when all these things are happening. You accept and don't change your behavior. You're gonna be sweet as you are. That is when a man will tell you that you are his peace. But do men actually give peace of mind? They are always requesting for peace, but do they give peace? Some of the creators were saying that you cannot request for something that you don't have. And that's the thing. Most of these men, their life is chaos. They don't even know what they are up to. They don't even know what they want. They don't even know how their life is going to begin. In fact, they have a lot of drama and a lot of things going on in their life. They just want somebody to calm it down. They want someone to do the work for them. And that's why most of the time they look for you as a woman to be their peace. The thing is, they are not even peaceful with themselves. And I feel like when you want peace from a woman, it is something that you give to her. Whatever action, whatever way you treat her will determine how a woman is going to treat you and give you peace. So if you're giving a woman chaos, chaos, chaos all the time, and she has been giving you peace, it gets to a stage whereby she's like, you know what, I'm going to switch to being chaos. And I feel like at that point, the woman cannot even switch back to start giving you peace. And the thing is, they want to give peace, or they want peace, but they're not ready to give you peace. If all men want peace in a relationship, do they think women don't want peace? Because most of the time, they usually, classify women in a relationship as women like trouble, women just like problem. They just use it as joke. Women just like trouble, women like problem. No, women also want a man to give them peace of mind, a man that they can feel at home with, that will protect them, guide them, and all of that. So if you're not doing all of that, definitely you're not giving her peace of mind. You have to give her peace of mind, secure her financially and everything. That will give her peace of mind. But if you're not doing any of that, you are not also giving her peace. If she's giving you peace and you're troubling her mental health, you're troubling her heart, and you keep making her to doubt you guys' relationship, you are not giving her peace. You are giving her chaos. You can only take something you can give, or how do we put it? The thing is, if you don't have peace in you, I don't think having a woman that will give you peace will last. So even if you have a woman that's currently giving you peace, is the peace going to last? Because I feel like at a point, because you don't have peace of mind, you yourself, you don't have peace in you, definitely the peace is not going to last. So I always say this, and I'll say it again. If a man is asking you to be his peace, because I watch all this I started watching this dating show and Pop the Balloon, and most of the time when you ask the man, oh, what are you looking for in a woman, da, 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 they're like, I want a woman that is peaceful, that is natural, that is caring, that is loving, but peace is there, okay? And I feel like, yes, everybody wants peace. Nobody wants a chaotic life and all of that. But if you're specific about peaceful women, are you peaceful to yourself? Can you give her peace? And I feel like they are asking you to be their peace. They're already telling you beforehand to be peaceful so that you're not going to talk when things are going left and right. Okay, you're going to keep quiet and hope that things will get better. And I feel like that is most of the time they want men that will give them peace. Just like the last creator said, when a man tells you he wants peace, he wants you to be his mumu. Just shut up and let him do whatever he has to. Let him get away with whatever he wants to do. And don't question him. Don't hold him accountable. Don't ask questions. Don't do anything. Don't vex. Don't change your behavior. Still be loving and caring as you are, whatever it does to you. What is your take on this conversation that we're having in today's video about men that usually seek for peace, but then they give chaos? And why do you think men always ask for peace in a relationship? Let's have conversation down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, it's your girl Mara Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.